Hello everyone, I hope everybody is fine and ready to do some more coordinate geometry questions. We have a problem here. It says in triangle PQR, if M and N, these are 2 points, are midpoints of sides PQ and RP respectively, which means that point M is the midpoint of side PQ of the triangle PQR, and point N is the midpoint of side PR of the triangle PQR. And then if that is the case, it says prove that the mid-segment MN is parallel to side QR. So mid-segment, we know what a mid-segment is. If you have a triangle and if you connect the midpoints of two adjacent sides, that line segment, in this case MN, is called the mid-segment of the triangle. You can have 3 mid-segments, mind you, because if you consider the midpoint of side QR to be like W, then NW would be the other mid-segment, and then WM would be the other mid-segment. But right now, we are just talking about mid-segment MN. We have to show or prove that this mid-segment happens to be parallel to QR. So we are going to use this logical reasoning here. We're going to say from the past courses we have learned that when two lines are parallel, then their slopes are the same. So if somehow we can find the slope of side QR and the slope of mid-segment MN, if we calculate these two slopes and we compare them, and these two slopes are shown to be exactly equal to one another, then we can conclude that the two sides are, of course, parallel. So that's the pathway of thinking. That's our logic that we're going to be using in this problem, coordinate geometry problem. So I'm going to find coordinates of the midpoints first of all to begin with. So I'm going to go point M is the midpoint of side PQ. So it's going to be x of P plus x of Q divided by 2, y of P plus y of Q divided by 2. And now we can plug in the numbers. So it's going to be negative 2 plus 1 over 2. These are the x coordinates of points P and Q. We find the average of them. And the average of the y coordinates would be 2 plus 3 divided by 2. So to simplify, we get negative 1/2 and then 5 over 2. So this is the coordinates of point M. Similarly, we're going to find the midpoint N using the midpoint formula. So I'm going to do it here. So I'm going to say point N is the midpoint of PR. So it's going to be the average of x coordinates of points P and R. So x of P plus x sub R over 2, y sub P plus y sub R over 2. And from here we get negative 2 plus 4 over 2 and 2 minus 1 over 2. Simplifying, you get 2 over 2, which is 1, and this would be just 1/2. Okay, so now that we found the coordinates of point M and N, now we can find the slope of line segment MN using the slope formula. So slope formula, if you recall, slope of line segment MN would be y of M minus y of N over x sub M minus x sub N. Rise over run, changing y over changing x. Okay, so now we just have to plug in numbers, and I always open and close empty brackets, and then I just plug in the x and y coordinates of the 2 points inside the brackets without making mistakes. So y of M is clear, it's 5 over 2, so that's going to go in the first bracket. Y of N is 1/2, that goes in the next empty brackets. Then x of M is negative 1/2, and x of N is 1. Okay, so you don't make mistakes when you always follow this method. So slope of mid-segment MN would be 5 over 2 minus 1 over 2, which is 2, and negative 1/2 minus 1 is negative 3 over 2. So if you simplify, it's going to be negative 4 over 3. Okay, you can use a calculator if you want, or mental math. So we found the slope of mid-segment MN to be negative 4/3. Hopefully, we can also show that slope of side QR is also equal to the same number, negative 4/3, because then we can conclude that because the two line segments have the same slope, therefore they are parallel, and that's exactly what we want to prove in this coordinate geometry problem. So we're going to go finding slope of QR. So y of q minus y of r, x of q minus x of r. I've said this in the past. You can change the order, no problem. You can say y of r minus y of q on condition that in the bottom you say x of r minus x of q. So again, the empty brackets. So slope of QR. Okay, y of q. Y of q is 3. And so that's 3. Y of r is negative 1. X of q is 1. X of r is 4. So the top is actually 3 plus 1. The bottom is 1 minus 4. So that is 4 divided by negative 3, or negative 4/3. So slope of mid-segment MN was negative 4/3, and slope of side QR, as you see, is again negative 4/3. So we are going to say, therefore, slope of MN equals slope of QR. And what does that mean? When two line segments have the same slope, what does that mean? It means that the two line segments are parallel. So we're going to say, therefore, that's the symbol for therefore. It's a mathematical symbol. We're going to say mid-segment MN is parallel to side QR. So this is the property of a mid-segment in a triangle. Now, furthermore, just came to my mind, I can add a part B to this exercise, and I would say part B, it says prove that the mid-segment is equal to 1/2 of side QR. Okay, just crossed my mind. I said, okay, we did the proving question. Why don't we just do another one? I added a part B to the question. So besides the fact that you prove that MN and PR are parallel, now you have to show that the length of MN is 1/2 of the length of QR. So if QR is, let's say, 10 centimeters, then we want to say that MN, we want to show that MN is 5 centimeters, half of it. So in order to prove this part, we need to find the lengths of the line segments. So I'm going to find the length of mid-segment MN. So I'm using the formula x of m minus x of n squared plus y of m minus y of n squared. And from here, so we have all the coordinates. X of n is negative 1/2. X of n is 1, all squared. 5/2 minus 1/2, all squared, under the radical sign. So this is going to be negative 3/2. If you square this, it's going to be 9/4. So 9/4. 5/2 minus 1/2 is just 2. And if you square it, it's going to be 4. So 16/4 plus 9/4. It's going to be 25/4. But 25/4 is under the radical sign, right? So what is the square root of 25/4? It's going to be 5/2, or you can say exactly 2.5 units. Okay, so the length of mid-segment MN is 2.5 units exactly. We found it. Now we need to find the length of side QR. So to find length of side QR, we're going to use again the same formula. So we're going to say x of r minus x of q all squared plus y of r minus y of q all squared. As you see, I always start by writing the formula down. So the first line is always writing the formula down. The next line is the substitution step. You plug in the numbers, and the next step you use the calculator and calculate what the final answer is. Okay. So QR equals x of r. X of r is 4, x of q is 1, so subtract it, square it. Y of r is -1, y of q is 3, subtract, and then this is going to be 3 squared, which is 9. That's going to be -4 all squared, which is 16. So when you add them up, it's going to be square root of 25, which is 5. So QR is 5 units. Okay, QR is the length of one side QR of the triangle, and it's exactly 5 units. But the mid segment was 2.5 units, which is exactly half of QR. So we actually showed that the length of the mid segment is not is 1/2 of side QR. But then besides, in part A, we showed that the mid segment actually is parallel to side QR. So basically, mid segment has two properties. That's what we learned by doing this question. The mid segment in a triangle has two properties. Property number one, it is parallel to the third side of the triangle. And the other property is that the length of the mid segment is 1/2 of the third side. As you see, 2.5 is 1/2 of 5 units. So we're going to write here, therefore, Mn equals 1/2 of QR. So this is the second important property of mid segments in any kind of triangle. Okay, so I hope you saw how we applied our previous knowledge of coordinate geometry, including midpoint formulas, including the length of a line segment, including the slope formula, all the things we've learned in the past. We are using our knowledge, putting all these things together to solve actually complicated or like higher level word problems in coordinate geometry. Okay, we will do more, of course, in future, and I'm sure that you will be practicing by doing as many exercises as you can using your textbook. Thank you very much.